So I went home to my parents' place last night. I was visiting them, walked in late at night. I'd just come in after a pretty long day. And, I want to say it's 9, 10 p.m. at that point. And my mom's there in the living room and she has the TV on, right? As you do, it's late at night, kind of throw something on to unwind. And I'm there eating I had Popeyes at that point. So I was eating Popeyes late at night there, kind of in the kitchen while she has this thing on. And I see it and I'm kind of like, oh, that's kind of interesting. It's a documentary about Dr. Seuss. I'm like, okay, kind of interesting. I know a little bit about Dr. Seuss's history. I'm a huge documentary fan, huge history fan as well. And she kind of calls attention to it. She's like, hey, Austin, this is a pretty cool documentary. I'm like, oh, that is pretty cool, right? And I ask immediately, my first question is, where are you streaming this? Want to guess?
YouTube?
YouTube, 100% YouTube, which is surprising, right? But not shocking, okay? And so I'm going to leave it at that. But before we go further, actually in the middle of this story, we did a game a couple of weeks ago. I want to play another game with you and with Nouchaly if you're down. So anybody who's in the chat, you can play along. You guys ready for this?
Yes.
The name of the game is that you have to guess the number of subscribers that this channel has. And I'm only going to give you a snapshot of information, okay? So the first bit of information is that they have 35 videos and they've been posting for 5 years. Any guesses about how many subscribers they have?
35 videos.
I know it's not much, but we're going to start there.
For 5 years. And how many subscribers do they have?
Just take a wild guess.
Oh, I'm going to say they have 1,000.
1,000. Nouchaly, what's your guess?
It's at 35 videos.
Over 5 years.
Over 5 years. I'm going to go 3,000.
3,000. Okay. So that's your first round of guesses. I'm not going to reveal until the very end. Here's the second piece of information. And there's going to be a lot here. All right. And this is the one that I think is going to give you a lot more. Ready? This is their top 8 videos that they have. Okay. This is their view count and how long ago they posted it. Their 8th most viewed video has 20,000 views, and they posted it 3 years ago. 7th, 39,000 views 2 years ago. 6th, 87,000 2 years ago. I'm just going to keep going here. 111,000 2 years ago. 201,000 1 month ago. 316,000 1 year ago. 459,000 1 year ago. And their most viewed video is 687,000 views 2 years ago. So given all that information, just to give you the range again, top of the list is 687,000. The bottom of their top 8 is 20,000. And they've been posting these top 8 over the span of the last couple of years, few years. 3 years is the oldest. Benji, do you amend your guess at all?
I think that maybe it's like, I'm going to do a range. Let's just say 2,000 to 8,000.
2,000 to 8,000. Nouchaly.
With that bit of information, I'm going to change it for 10 to 15K.
10 to 15K. Yeah. All right. Before I go any further than that, before I reveal the big answer, this is why I want to do this, because I want you to tell me your thought process about this, because the game on YouTube has changed a lot. A lot of people have a lot of subscribers and they don't get a lot of views. A lot of people have not very many, I guess it would be not a lot of subscribers and they get a lot of views. Is that the other way around? Mm-hmm. And then some people have a lot of subscribers and have a lot of views. Some people have no subscribers and have no views. The entire range is possible. That was not the case on old YouTube. So Benji, explain your guess of 2,000 to 8,000 if they're getting some of their top views almost have, 750,000 views. But why 2,000 to 8,000?
I'm just making a huge assumption about the creator themselves, that they are just randomly posting and they're not trying to be a creator. So maybe they're not even in the creator mindset of like, subscribe to me. Also, these are videos that maybe span across a lot of time. So the reason they're getting views is I think they're random in quality, but they're similar enough that people are maybe curious about their other content potentially. So also, I'm just purely guessing a little bit.
Of course, that's kind of the point, right?
Yeah.
Is that everything is possible. Nouchaly, do you have a rationale for yours?
Honestly, no, just because the numbers on on his stuff that he's been posting and how you said he's been rationing out his last post that got the top this last couple of months. So I'm like, maybe he's been
growing a little bit.
Did you say he ever or they?
I actually don't know. That's a good.
My bad.
Assuming no.
Ben's trying to get me canceled here.
The answer is 8.85 thousand.
Okay.
So Benji nailed it.
You can take that. You
Wow.
take that.
Were you like shocked? That
I was
got that
shocked.
number?
I had to have fun with my
and I gave you that number once you gave me a little bit more context.
Exactly. So the reason I play this game is exactly what I was just talking about. That the fact is that the numbers on YouTube have changed. The fact that you can have 8,000 subscribers and have a video that's getting, upwards of 1 million views, I'm sure in the future it will, all the way down to a few of their videos have a few hundred views, right? Well, here's the kind of thing, maybe you've guessed it at this point. This channel is the channel that posted that documentary that my mom was watching the other night. And so my point is that when I asked her about the fact that she was watching this documentary on YouTube, I found it surprising and not shocking, right? The video had 700,000 views. This was a very professionally produced video. Just to give you a sense of what it felt like, it kind of felt like if you turned on PBS kind of late at night back in the day, and they had you can imagine a Dr. Seuss documentary on PBS. And as it turns out, I went down this rabbit hole, and the video was made by this channel called Peter Jones Productions. So shout out to Peter Jones Productions. They're founded in 1987. They've won the Los Angeles Area Emmy Award, 5 Primetime Emmy nominations with 2 wins. They've won a Peabody Award. And Peter Jones himself has won twice the Producer of the Year Award from the Producers Guild of America. And kind of their business model, because remember, they started back in a solidly TV era, the time when you would be making these documentaries for PBS back in 1987. And lo and behold, they were making this one specifically for the channel A&E, right? But they've also made documentaries for PBS. And so I just bring this up because I found it so fascinating. First of all, that, the thing we talk about all the time on this channel is that it is the TV era of YouTube. That when I just randomly come home on a random night, my mom has TV on, and guess what? It's the free option. It's the YouTube option. And what is she watching? She's watching not only content on the TV, not only a documentary that's an hour and a half, not only something that's pretty well produced, which is not necessarily the point, but it's well produced. It's made by people who make TV. It's that she's literally watching something that was designed for TV, for the previous TV, the actual television, and is watching it now on YouTube for free. And I just find it amazing. So I don't know if you have any final words on that, but I just wanted to bring it up because I found it's just another anecdote that points us in that same direction.
Yeah, I told you it's a little bit of a lucky guess, but also the strategy for traditional production, studios, cable, just like that TV world is so different than a creator. What's one of the number one things we teach in YouTube Secrets? Have to put in the center because it's a vertical live too. Is consistency. And what's interesting is consistency in the TV world is isolated to a season or like a series. But with creators, it's like forever. In fact, one of the lessons is when you're not consistent, it does hurt your channel because it gives an opportunity for another creator, another channel to take that spot. Because in the TV world, as a viewer, you kind of knew shows are going to end, right? That season's going to be done, and you might have to wait a year, 6 months. These days, like Dancing with the Stars is like 3 or 4 a year. It's kind of crazy, okay? But traditional TV, you'd have to wait. But with viewers of YouTube, you don't want to wait. In fact, what makes YouTube so powerful is that habitual, every single day viewing. I stopped watching YouTube during the day, but it is harder than I thought it would be.
Of course.
Because it's not just like the background viewing. It's just the fact that background viewing, it's still so targeted to what I'm interested in. So being consistent on YouTube is really important. Now, not everyone does it. Some people take breaks, but the people that are the most consistent in their uploads tend to almost always be the most successful in their niche, in their genre, right? In whatever they vlog about, compared to people that are inconsistent. And of course, quality is part of it.
Yes.
But consistency has even more of a power than you would assume. And so those type of people also have the most subscribers if they're doing a call to action for subscribers, but a traditional television show or, production mindset type of, uploader wouldn't think, oh, subscribe, What the most fascinating thing to me when I think about this is hearing news channels, like the anchor of a news station at the end do that pre-recorded, hey guys, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more news updates from NBC. And that it's the same thing over. For me, you got to tape that thing in real time in that video. Same shirt, same time. Anyway, totally mindset difference because they're all about batch production, about, efficiency. So my last thought is be more of a creator, being influenced by the television world than being like a television producer influenced by creators. Does that make sense?
It does. I'll push back just slightly because I generally agree with you in the sense that these people are, to some degree, creators, actually, I would say, even though they come from the TV era, right? This is a production company, right? This is not a news station necessarily, right? And guess what? They're getting videos that are hitting 500,000, 700,000 views. So the takeaway from me is that the TV era is here in a huge way for YouTube. If you think that you have any interest in getting into streaming and getting into Hollywood, honestly, getting into TV in any type of way, you should start posting to YouTube more than anything else, right? But even further than that, even if you don't have those aspirations, that with the TV era comes tons of other opportunities for people who don't have a lot of subscribers. Remember, this channel has 8,000 subs, which is, that's nothing to sneeze at, but it's not like they had 100,000 subs and they're getting 700,000 views. Anybody, if the video is good enough, can get lots of views on their videos. And it just is a matter of the quality of the content to some degree, right?
Yeah, I would say the amount of subscribers you have so little influence on the amount of views you're going to get because rarely does that number correlate to how many views you're going to get. And it's
exactly
part of it is because so much of YouTube is so competitive that people have so many options. And even if they subscribe to you, the algorithm knows what you're really interested in, not necessarily just what you subscribed to watch previously. And what if you subscribe 10 years later? That's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
And I still think, though, it's important to ask for subscribers because that is a little bit of a authority builder when someone does look at your channel. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not like before. If you had more subscribers, potentially the algorithms promoting it to those people more prioritized. But now the algorithm is prioritizing whatever they're interested in versus what they subscribe to.
Yeah, a small little thing in that too, because if you imagine this video getting 700,000 views, right? You'd think that maybe a few people would filter through and subscribe, but that speaks to your point of asking for subscribers, that people don't necessarily do it automatically. It also might speak to the kind of demographic who's watching that type of video specifically in that case, right? If it's PBS style, a little longer about Dr. Seuss, maybe like not quite as Mr. Beast edited to some degree, might be an older demographic that's watching, and subscribing might not be as kind of, readily available to them to some degree.
Can I ask you a fun question?
Please.
Have you ever gone to YouTube and you didn't want to search for the show or the channel or even like the specific video? You were just hoping that as you're scrolling through your suggestion feed, that the video that you were thinking about or even the channel you want to watch just shows up.
100%.
Do you do that, Nouchaly?
Definitely, bro.
Okay, think about this. Like 3 different people, kind of a little bit different generations, different kind of backgrounds.
I would
different,
say for sure, yeah.
Different interests, even though we all are on the show, all kind of in a way trust the algorithm to suggest it. So think about when it comes time to subscribe, you might not even do that because you already know, hey, this is going to pop up, or just because, again, we're so comfortable with whatever shows up, it's like most likely going to be the most interesting stuff because we're interested in that type of video. So That's crazy. I wasn't expecting. I actually thought you'd be like, no, I actually do search for it.
I do often search, but there are times where I'm just there late at night and I'm like, I kind of want to watch a John Boyce video right now, and it'll be almost always on my homepage. I'm not joking. It's kind of freaky, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And well, of course, guess what? The algorithm's probably learning that when you do that and you click on this is going to get way more priority versus even something that you search for. It's the amount of information and behavior knowledge that the algorithm like has is so strange. If you like compare it to like the 90s when that wasn't a thing, you just had the TV and you controlled the whole thing, and then also it wasn't on demand.
Yeah.
The channel's on demand, but not the specific video on demand. And this again going to consistency. Whatever's the freshest, whatever's new, it usually is going to get prioritized unless the thing that you really want to watch, like the algorithm knows, is not something that's new. It's something they have to go back into the archives to grab.
Yeah, and just to put a pin in it, because we're going to talk a lot more about kind of that era of TV here today, actually, that this is not a lesson about the production, although you might learn some lessons about the quality of your production from this story, but it's about the upside of posting to YouTube. Why on God's green earth would this production company choose to post their videos to YouTube at the end of the day? By the way, how'd they get the rights to do that? If A&E bought the series, why were they allowed to upload it to YouTube? I don't know. There's some sort of weird...
Was it that? Do you know for sure it was the... Do you know for sure it's a production company?
Which one? That posted this video?
Yeah.
I'm almost certain that it is, yeah. Because the way they crafted their description, kind of the way that they do their promotions. If you look through the videos that don't hit, actually, they're doing a lot of Kickstarter fundraising for their documentaries nowadays, which is kind of interesting. But I don't know why like a channel that's ripping these would upload them with that.
Well, the reason I ask is I've seen a lot of channels just upload random content, like I said, copyrighted stuff, things that have trademarked, like properties in it, and for sure, I know that they're not, somebody that owns that, and I'm surprised. A lot of creators don't know you have to like manage your own trademark and copyrights. You have to do it. There isn't a police actively doing it for you.
Yeah.
So it's interesting when people like slide by and don't get noticed. And then the question is, when they have all those views, do they make that AdSense income?
Oh yeah, I'm sure that they do.
Crazy.
There may be some recourse there from YouTube's perspective, but yeah, that is crazy. But I do want to tap into that discussion about the kind of old idea of TV by getting to some follow-up here. So last week we discussed the Netflix deal with Warner Bros. And how that illuminated something that's happening on YouTube, actually, that it was really showing the same lesson, which is that it's about the YouTube opportunity. So there is kind of an update that I have for you, which is that Hollywood kind of hates Netflix. This was part of the discussion, but I want to kind of bring this up because it rounds out the discussion that we had last week, and it opens up a new discussion about hard numbers about what might be happening in the creator economy over, let's say, the next 3 to 5 years. So let me start with Sharon Waxman, who was writing for the New York Times opinion page. She says, I was pretty surprised this summer when a longstanding member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, those guys who hand out the Oscars, said the quiet part out loud in a casual conversation in my backyard. Quote, everybody hates Netflix, end quote, she said to a visitor from overseas who inquired about the streamer. And it's true. Even though lots of people in Hollywood depend on Netflix for their livelihoods, they hate the company and what it has done to the century-old, once thriving business. But up to now, almost nobody has said it out loud. Producers hate Netflix because they can't get back-end profits. A-list actors hate their agent, and their agents hate that they've put a lid on salaries and residuals. Studios hate Netflix when it poached their talent and jacked up executive salaries. Exhibitors hate Netflix because the streamer is undermining the theatrical business by convincing people it's better to stay on the couch. And so Sharon Waxman right there is basically saying that all of Hollywood looks at this deal and immediately fears. And I think that there's some validity to that to some degree, but I think that there may be a bigger underlying question of the actual true why that's underlying it, because I think that Netflix is part of the picture, but I think you can probably guess what I think the other part of the picture is. So let's rewind a little bit. I'm just going to summarize what she said. She says, everybody hates Netflix. The reason why is because they changed how people get paid and who was winning in Hollywood. And that's because they represent the transition from the production-centric world, right? Hollywood, the people who own the cameras, the people who own the theaters, the people who own the studios. Think about how expensive it was to make a movie back in the day. Still is expensive, but like comparatively, compared to what we're doing right now, for example, to Netflix, who's more focused on kind of the end customer. They're saying, we want to produce this in bulk. We're going to use an algorithm to kind of spread out the different things where there's not going to be kind of these cultural touchstones as much unless things truly break out like K-pop Demon Hunters. And so the question that I have is, who are the ultimate customer-centric people in the media economy right now? And I think the answer is creators. If you really, really think about it, at the end of the day, the people who care the most about the audience are the creators. I think that that's true, by the way, of the people who are making their shows for Netflix, but I think it's especially true of people who are posting to YouTube, for example, or posting to Instagram or something like that. And so to a large degree, creators are really the ones, in my mind, who are disrupting Hollywood, not necessarily Netflix on their own. And then once you take that perspective, you add Netflix back on top of that into the mix, and Hollywood looks entirely different. And so the deal between Netflix and Warner Bros. Is very important, and it's very huge because the economics of Hollywood itself, the higher production, the bigger upfront paychecks, truly start to center Netflix as part of that discussion because they're going to own a big chunk of Hollywood, right? But for creators, that means that YouTube is a bigger opportunity than ever before as well because they get to compete on equal footing with everybody else, including the people in Hollywood who are angry at Netflix. So sorry for the long spiel, but I'm curious about your reactions because I wanted to bring that up. We have one more turn to the discussion too.
I think that it's a little bit of both. So Netflix probably messed with the whole economics of Hollywood just because there's no movie theater. Yeah. There's not as many middlemen, and also you can watch on demand and whenever you want. Versus with Hollywood, wouldn't you agree? Most of the money is made at the theater.
Yeah.
At that actual time that you have to drive there, get a ticket, sit there, watch it.
It's definitely a huge chunk. In fact, people usually decide whether a movie has been successful over the first weekend of opening. That's how big a risk it is.
Exactly. So with Netflix, the strategy is kind of extended. You don't have to do it up front or whatever. And then it's more of a volume game. But I think creators are actually pressuring, of course, a little bit of Hollywood, but they're more so pressuring Netflix to have more content. What do we say? More so than creators, YouTube. It's just endless kinds of content. And that is purely because so much of our content consumption is happening on the phone.
100%.
Right? So when you're on the phone, you're less likely to actually watch Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, and all those. You're going to watch some kind of social media. YouTube is a major player. I don't think it's dominant as much as it is on the TV, funny enough.
Yeah.
Just because TikTok is still a huge thing, right? For short form content. Facebook, Instagram for the social side, and then YouTube more for the video side. YouTube might only win or actually like is competitive because you're watching longer videos. So creators on YouTube are pressuring everybody, but in this case, pressuring Netflix to have a bigger library. How do they get the bigger library? By buying more properties and then paying actors even, right? Like, I think in my opinion, a actual actor that helped in messing with the whole Hollywood dynamic is Adam Sandler.
Why is that?
Well, because I think he has a special contract with most, if not all, his movies are all done on Netflix.
I didn't know that.
You should double check that.
Well, Happy Gilmore's on there.
Well, I'm saying after that era.
Interesting, huh?
Think about it. There's not any movies that Adam Sandler puts out that isn't a Netflix movie.
Interesting, huh?
And so why would he want to do that? Payday.
Yeah.
Big time payday. Probably like a long-term payday versus when you're...
The stability.
When you're working with Hollywood, you get paid on the actual show or movie that you're doing. And so there's this like predictability. You're getting signed by a team basically.
Exactly.
Okay. So, but all that is exciting for creators on YouTube specifically, but I think all digital platforms, because a lot of the advertisement, because there was advertising within movies, but especially on shows on TV, are shifting to wherever the eyeballs are at. And one of the big places is on the phone. And the second big place that's getting bigger and bigger and now is like by the data in terms of amount of time watch is on the TV. So naturally, as creators, I told you my AdSense has gone up.
Yes.
I know more creators that survive off their AdSense than ever before. Let's say that. And that's crazy because in the very beginning, my biggest checks, our biggest paydays were from AdSense, but that shifted as brand deals got more popular as you sold merch and your own products and just all kinds of other business opportunities. So that's what I would say is creators are actually the ones pressuring Netflix, which indirectly pressure Hollywood.
You are reading my mind because this is the second turn of the conversation, which is that I have numbers that will tell you exactly how big the opportunity is about to be. So it's the TV era of YouTube. We said that 3 times now on this show, right? And there is a piece of the Netflix discussion that actually exactly shows what's going on here. So one of the things is that, Warner Bros. Has a long, long history of its own. But a few years ago, they combined with this company called Discovery, right? And I think it's Discovery. They owned the cable networks and the broadcast networks that put the shows on TV, not on movie theaters and TV. So you can think of the Warner Bros. Side as movies and creation of TV shows. And you can think of the Discovery side as broadcast and cable TV. And so one of the things about the Netflix deal is that they're only buying the Warner Bros. Side. They're saying, we don't want Discovery. Why would that be? They have a whole set of assets, right? That they own. They know how to get stuff into the TVs of America. Well, it's because it's a dying business. They don't want to own a dying business. And so they said, we're going to cut this in half. Discovery is going to go off on its own. And Warner Bros. Is the thing that we're going to get. Cable is dying. We don't want it. And so exactly like you said, the reason this is important is because of money. And in this scenario, we're only going to focus on the ad money. We're not going to focus on subscription money because they're kind of 2 different pools of cash. And for YouTubers, we mostly care about the ad money in this scenario because that's how most YouTubers make money. And so right now, in the creator economy, there's $37 billion floating around when it comes to ads in particular. In cable and broadcast, as of right now, they call it linear TV today, the number's $50 billion. So think about that. Cable and broadcast, there's still a lot of people watching. It's a dying business, but there's more money in advertising in cable and broadcast than there is in the creator economy at large right now, right? So what does that mean? Nouchaly, is now a good time to pop quiz you?
Let's do it.
Okay. So if there's $50 billion in traditional TV and there's $37 billion in the creator economy, imagine if TV entirely disappeared today, would advertisers also just stop advertising? The ones who just were on the TV before, would they just stop advertising altogether?
No.
What do you think they would do? Where would they go?
They would go to a different platform.
Yeah, wherever the eyeballs are, right? That's exactly what Benchy was saying. And so the places where they're going to go is they're going to go to streaming, right? Because that's the thing. If cable's dying, streaming's living, right? It's growing. And who are the top 2 streaming players right now in terms of like the big names? Netflix and YouTube. So here's the theory, right? We've talked about it before, but just to be clear, YouTube is the future of broadcast TV and Netflix is the future of cable TV. This is kind of my theory, right? So if you think about the old days, right? The way broadcast TV worked is that we had these airwaves, we had these giant antennas that popped out of the ground, and you had bunny ears on your TV, and for free, you could tune into any one of the, well, at the beginning, it was like 2 or 3 channels, but eventually, a couple dozen, maybe 50 to 100 if you're really lucky, right? Depending on what type of tuner you have. But you had to do it for free. And guess what? That entire thing, how could they support it for free? Well, they had advertisers that paid them money. Over time, we got this technology called cable, right? And cable came in, and there was, I think, less advertising at the beginning in some things. Sometimes there was no advertising, like on HBO, for example. And what you would do is you would pay these companies for the service of higher quality video, more channels, and sometimes better or less advertising at the beginning, but eventually lots of advertising as well. And so if broadcast TV is going away because people aren't watching with bunny ears anymore, and cable TV is going away just because it's a dying medium, well, who is going to replace that? I think that same structure is coming right on back. And if you think about who's competing for cable, you've got Disney Plus, you've got Amazon Prime, you've got Netflix, you've got Paramount Plus, you've got Peacock. I could go down the list. Right now, you've got HBO Max until Netflix buys them. Who's competing on the free side of that equation? Is there anyone other than YouTube?
Oh, on the free side, well, social media in general, like a
But not on the
TikTok.
TV.
Oh, well, they're trying. They're trying.
So
Instagram.
Put a pin in that. Okay. But no one else that I can think of, right? Maybe Tubi if you do that, but are they really a player? I mean, not really, right?
Yeah, no one's significant.
No one's significant. So, Nouchaly, you told us that the money wouldn't go away. Benji, we've talked about how YouTube is the new broadcast TV. That means that YouTube has the opportunity to stand alone and be as big of all of broadcast TV
Oh my
together.
gosh.
So you think about that 50, and so here's the bottom line. Let me just say it with the bottom line numbers. There is a giant treasure chest of $50 billion that has to end up somewhere.
Oh, I love that.
Where is it coming? I'm going to guess it's going to be split between YouTube and some of the other players, but I bet you because YouTube is so good and so big, a big chunk of that $50 billion is coming to YouTube. And so here's the bottom line for creators. Here's the takeaway for creators. Make content for the TV. If all of what we've talked about in this podcast isn't clear enough, it is time to start making content for the TV because people are not going to just advertise across any social media, although that's part of it. Advertisers are kind of conservative. They know that TV advertising works. And so people are watching on the TV, so it suddenly becomes viable for them because they can recognize that it looks the same. So make stuff for the TV, and I can guarantee you that there's a huge wave coming to not only the creator economy, but especially YouTube.
Well, I never thought of YouTube being the broadcast television inheritor and then Netflix being the cable television, because cable television typically is more like shows, proper shows or movies. There are some cable news would probably go more towards YouTube, right? That'd be
Probably.
the unique part. I think the distinction is whatever is real time, fresh, new, and current will be on YouTube. Whatever can live kind of evergreen in terms of an entertainment factor is going to be more and more Netflix. This is why Netflix is buying up talent for their thing. By the way, did you find out if Adam has a special deal?
Yes, I actually did. So Adam Sandler.
Get on camera.
Oh yeah, sorry. Got my angle here now. What's up, guys? So Adam Sandler actually has a long-running deal with Netflix. It started back in 2014, and it signed to a multi-movie agreement through his production company, Happy Madison. So his Happy Gilmore 2 was on there, his Murder Mystery, his second sequel was on there. So he does have a long-standing contract with Netflix.
Yeah, so it's like where he's kind of exclusive with Netflix.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
His production company.
So, okay, anyways, why did I bring him up? And I didn't even know what you were going to say after that.
I know, it's crazy.
Traditional Hollywood, though they don't like Netflix, is going to go more towards that way because what do they want? They want to get paid, right? So that's where the biggest opportunities. I just still think there's going to be a lot of competition for Netflix.
Yeah.
Because Apple, Amazon Prime, Hulu's Disney Plus will still have a lot of competition. What's unique about YouTube is it dominating. That's why YouTube TV is interesting to me, because YouTube TV and YouTube should just be one thing. But the biggest takeaway for me is $50 billion.
$50 billion.
$15 billion that probably won't all go to YouTube, because they might just advertise wherever your attention is.
Totally.
I mean, it doesn't matter if it's like a actual TV show or a movie or whatever. I think that, so an example would be the difference between an ad that plays on YouTube versus like a ad that is in your Facebook feed. Okay.
I actually do think that there is a difference, by the way.
Okay, tell me.
And this is what I mean by advertisers being kind of conservative, right? When you look at the way advertisers spend money, a lot of times they will have budgets for certain categories of things. And a lot of times these big advertisers they've been around for a long time. They aren't really going to change that quickly, right? So that's why, I mean, you experienced this as someone who was early to YouTube. Wasn't it kind of hard at the beginning to get anybody to pay you for the content you created on YouTube, even though you were giving them tons of attention and tons of return on investment early on?
Yeah, no.
Really? So tell me more about that.
Oh, repeat what you're saying, because I'm thinking about Doc Rock's comment.
So think about the beginning of your and Judy's journey on YouTube, right? the story you've told me is that you doubled Judy's rate, right?
Yeah.
From $50 to $100. Were they getting probably more than $100 of value based off of that?
For sure.
I mean, how much? Just ballpark. What do you think that they'd be getting at that time?
Oh,
in terms of value,
what was the actual value at
yeah,
that
like
time?
what would you have charged with hindsight?
If I
2020?
understood what she should have been charging? Oh, definitely to the tune of $1,000+ at that time. Yeah, for sure.
So
at least.
So first of all, they were a little skeptical about paying you, right? You didn't necessarily, not necessarily that company.
Probably more so they were just knowing they could get a deal.
Well, that's another thing too, right? But there were a lot of companies that were late to the game in advertising on social media because it was a new category that was emerging and they didn't know how to treat it, right? Think about what the internet is. You had YouTube, you had Facebook. All of these people had to earn advertisers' trust before they could take advertisers' money, which is kind of interesting. And so the best example of this that I have is Twitter. When Twitter went away, there are giant advertising buckets that didn't get spent anywhere. There were, I don't know how much money, I'm guessing millions and millions of dollars that were just not spent because the category that they had were small, live posts. And there was nobody to replace them that could accept ad money. And so Threads didn't accept ad money at the beginning. Mastodon definitely didn't accept ad money at that point. And so the only thing that was left was X. And at the time, it was a big question about whether there would be the same number of advertisers spent just because of all the politics of it all. But like a good example is like a news publication like The Verge entirely re-architected their homepage to basically kind of become a slight Twitter clone in some ways. And they started advertising in those slots because they knew they could tap into those budgets that were untapped because they didn't have anywhere else to advertise.
Where were those budgets at first?
Twitter.
Oh, got it. Yeah,
100% on Twitter. Right. And so they literally think by category of content and they they create their budgets based off of that, right? And so it actually does matter whether it's on the TV versus in your Facebook feed.
Because that behavior determines how they spend.
That's exactly
and what
right.
they spend on.
And it also depends on how they think about it, right? How do they think about a customer that's watching TV versus a customer that's scrolling through Facebook?
Oh, definitely way more authority on television for whatever reason. I think part of that is, I mean, this is what's interesting. I don't know if you were planning for me to figure this out in real time, because you're spending more time on there. So you trust.
Very true.
You trust in my case, you trust the creators on this YouTube channel more. So even if it's not your ad, there's something like, oh, this is just like, I don't know, this is more authoritative. This is more valid. This is just like, it's outside of the fact that it might align with me because they know who I am and they're advertising towards me. Yeah, there is something. And also it's a longer commercial.
Yes.
Right? You have more time to sell the product versus when you're scrolling. By the way, who wants to see an ad while you're scrolling? Nobody. But for whatever reason, when you're watching long form content now, it used to be TV, not movies, right? But on TV, you just accepted that there's TVs. Like, isn't that crazy? Because that's what blows my mind. There was a time on YouTube when just one ad, you can forgive that. So when we started getting the option to do 2 ads or 3 ads as creators, we're like, no way you could do that. You're going to know everybody, no one's going to watch. Well, now I upload a YouTube vlog and 7 to 10 ads play. That's like, by the way, that's like TV, but better. Why?
Because they have the data on you.
Not just that. It doesn't play all at once. See, when you're watching TV shows, when the commercial came up, right? You guys all know this feeling. Oh my gosh, when are the commercials going to end? It's like 3 or 4 deep and you're just like, come on, let's get the show started. Well, YouTube is smart enough, right? Their AdSense tool to just play the one. You get through like 30 seconds. If there's a skip ad, a skip button, you just skip it. So it's way more effective, but still you can, if you're an advertiser, you just can squeeze in a longer ad to sell your product versus not just Facebook, Instagram, all these other platforms. TikTok is really the worst because people literally just swipe past it and they're not even consuming it. Now, it must work. This is the question for me. It must work. Nouchaly, have you ever been on TikTok and bought something that was advertised to you on TikTok?
But not like TikTok Shop, just like TikTok advertising.
Yes.
Really?
Oh, what'd you buy?
Not TikTok Shop, but that I saw on the product on TikTok. Yes, I bought a DJ controller that I was really just interested in, and somebody just made a quick short, and I was like, "Yep, that's the DJ controller."
Wait, was that a brand deal on their actual like TikTok?
Like, did it have the
content?
sponsored thing at the bottom?
Or was it an ad, like an advertisement?
It was honestly just a DJ guy that was not sponsored. He bought it with his own money. He was like, "Hey guys, here's the new Hercules Impulse T7."
That's different.
It's just content at that point.
It's just content.
It's organic content. So okay, but never an ad.
Nope,
When
never
you
an
go on
ad.
when you go on TikTok, you probably swipe through the ads.
Yes,
That's-
literally just autoplay. I just don't
That's-
even look at the first video. Just
That's my question. Are people actually buying stuff from the advertisements that go onto TikTok? And I think it's a lot less likely. Well, this is where they make it up with volume, right?
Yeah.
Tons and tons of ads. But on YouTube, it's a longer amount of time that you're gonna sit there, especially if it's unskippable. Anyways, where are we going with this?
Well, I just want to bring up what Doc said in the chat, right? So real-time follow-up from Doc here. He mentions that, don't forget the power of Alphabet, right? Their ads on Google and YouTube are targeted. TV is spray and pray, which is kind of what I was bringing up before, right? So like, not only are these advertisers looking at the TV bucket and saying, hey, we're going to spend all of our money in this TV bucket, but they're getting probably more ROI is my guess for the thing, because they're actually targeting the right people. I mean, I think of like the number of ads that to be honest, on YouTube too, there's a lot of ads that I don't really care about, but especially they're better than the ones on TV. I'm like, why are they showing this on TV? Like, who possibly could be interested? There must be somebody. I mean, it must be working some way.
The type of ads that are just commercial compared to just on social media and like YouTube, yeah, those are really crass contrast.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that's all to say that, again, the bottom line is that there is, Benji, your bottom line is the exact same as mine, which is there's $50 billion in play, and it's coming to, not all of it, but a big portion of it, I would guess, is probably coming to YouTube. And it might even be more than that. Let's go and get into a couple of topics, because there's a lot that is happening in the creator economy beyond just that advertising stuff and beyond the Warner Bros. Netflix deal. We kind of bent the Warner Bros. Thing into the creator economy. I think that creators should pay attention. These things are straight up creator stuff for the rest of the show. So the first one is, I'm just going to tell you a little story here, right? So December 3rd, the head of Threads, this is the second time Threads have been brought up on the show, which is weird. His name is Connor Hayes, said this via Threads, of course. Remember when people used to post, "Dear Algo," hoping it might do something? Soon it will. We're testing a new AI feature to help you personalize your feed. When people add, quote, "Dear Algo" to a post, it will tell your feed what you want to see more or less of for up to 3 days. If your profile is public, people can see your request, connect with you about it, or repost it. And this is just a test, so not everyone will have access now, but we're working on rolling it out more broadly very soon. So do you guys know about the Dear Algo thing? Have you seen that before?
No, I've never seen that.
It might be just a Threads-focused thing. Nouchaly, do you know about that? And he's shaking his head no. Basically, people at the beginning were like, "Dear Algo, please give me more Seattle Kraken content." And of course, it wasn't doing anything, right? But now it very much will. Okay, that was December 3rd, now December 10th. Reese Rogers, this is reporting from Wired. Reese says, Meta is giving Instagram users a rare glimpse into why certain posts are showing up on their Reels, the platform's feed of algorithmically curated videos. Starting today, users will now see a list of what Instagram considers to be your top recent interests. This is kind of a peek behind the algorithmic curtain, which is already uncommon in social media apps, but Meta is taking it a step further by allowing Instagram users to influence their algorithm by directly picking topics they want to see more or less often in Reels. This feature, called, quote, "Your Algorithm," drops as Instagram and TikTok continue to battle for prominence with younger users. It's these users who potentially want more control over what they're consuming as they scroll through video feeds, as well as other personalization options. The new feature is landing on Instagram first for those in the US, with a global rollout for English users in the works. So have you guys heard about this thing?
No.
So basically, just to summarize, they're letting you, so Threads is kind of doing it through this cutesy way by posting, but the real meat of this announcement is that they are allowing you to basically go to a prompt inside of Reels and say, "I want more skateboarding content on my thing," and it'll show you more skateboarding content. It'll also say, "These are the things that you have been watching more lately." So if you can imagine, there's like this little dial up in the top right corner of the Reels thing. You click it and it says, "This is your algorithm. Lately, you've been into creativity, sports hype, fitness motivation, and skateboarding. And it says, what do you want to see more of? And it gives you a bunch of options to press, and you can add things as well. And then it'll label that content in the Reels feed as well. And so I have more to say about this, but I'm curious about your reaction to this.
I mean, it's just like the search function on anything. So I think that people understand the idea of you can influence the algorithm because they're doing it, but by other means, right? So TikTok, you might follow this person, or you might like it, and you might like less of the other content. On YouTube, there's a not interested button. So if I know I'm getting too much junk, for example, junk for me, sadly, is Marvel Avengers theory videos. If I get too many of those, I'll get into that rabbit hole. I'll say not interested, and that's like the reverse example of this. So them doing it, it's just gonna make the experience better. But my theory is, you'll go right back into your old habits, and the algorithm will leave that open.
Interesting. So explain that more.
Well, for example, why does TikTok want a video to play versus letting you explore?
Because they think that they kind of know better?
Well, yeah, but what's the number one goal of any platform?
Get you there and keep you there.
Get you there and keep you there. Well, if you see the thing that you want, you're out afterwards. That's just human behavior, okay?
There's kind of a scavenging aspect to it, is what you're saying.
Totally. Like I said, going back to that question I asked you earlier, do you ever, rather than searching things, because we're too damn lazy to just type it in, we just
to be fair, the Apple TV's keyboard is terrible. It's the worst thing on planet
Is that
Earth.
why you don't do it?
That's why I don't do it.
Oh my gosh. Well, hey, it doesn't matter. That's the reality.
True.
So the fact that we don't even want to type something in because we just trust it's going to. How many times have you done it and you ended up watching something else?
Pretty often.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So the thing is, they always do things to make your a search or your desire to watch the exact thing that you want to watch. The reason I know this is, guess what? Is probably on my feed right now. Marvel Avengers theory videos. How many times I said not interested and it still finds its way back in? Think about that. That's like, to me, are you like changing the rules? They're like not taking it seriously that I don't want to watch it. But guess what happens? I keep watching it. And so what does the switch flip? They're just teasing you like, hey, come on. It's like,
it's kind of an illusion.
I don't want to eat sugar anymore. But guess what? That cupcake looks amazing. That's how I feel about it. So great tool for the viewer, but the algorithm. Oh, we got Matt on.
Hi.
Matt, okay, we're doing something unique today. We're going vertical and horizontal live for the first time right now.
Oh, it's finally available.
Yeah, it's finally available. So
Sick. Is that straight on YouTube, or is it like a separate software you're using?
no, we're first off, when we stream, we actually use you can put it on me when I'm talking, Nouchaly. When we stream, we use vMix and we plug into the backend studio live stream platform of YouTube. So we're not live streaming the way you would live stream or the way I've done it just through the phone. And there's an actual button there that lets you literally, kind of what do you call it? Just dual stream. Okay. So today's the first day we're doing it. So the reason I bring it up is, and you're fine because you're just doing vertical anyways, I have to sit in the middle of the screen to be in the vertical version of my live stream. It's not intuitive where it knows.
Yeah, Nouchaly, if you want to bring it up. Hey, Matt, by the way, I don't know if we want to introduce Matt to the audience here, but
For sure.
Yeah, Nouchaly, I don't know if you want to show what it looks like really quickly, just for context.
Yeah, definitely. So the back end, like Benji was talking, of the YouTube live stream we use.
But don't show the back end. Just show the dual stream part window because you don't want to show any of the codes.
Oh, the codes don't show.
So Matt, if you look on your screen, I don't know if you're able to see it. Do you see this? Do you see this?
Yeah. So are you just now getting access to that on your software, or is that because it's available on YouTube now?
So interesting enough, this function just popped up today for us. Last week it wasn't here, but we've been wanting to use it. So I reached out to my partner manager. They're on vacation. So I thought, okay, we're just going to have to wait to get it. And then it just showed up today. But for me, the reason I like it is because that's two different places on YouTube you're going to show up, you know?
Well, actually, I think it's cool because I mean, I don't know if the software is doing it for you, but if when this comes out on YouTube, the whole purpose of it is to push your live to the shorts feed, which gives you way more eyeballs than horizontal live. That's why actually all my lives are vertical. It's all just because it gets pushed to the shorts feed.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is when you're, thinking about YouTube, when people are on the phone, they're mostly on shorts, I think, generally speaking. And yeah, so if you're on shorts, you're not going to see most people's live streams. But now you will see this live. Sorry, I'm talking slow because my brain can't wrap around the fact that I'm on the shorts tab potentially right now. That's why I'm sitting in the middle and I'm on like normal horizontal. Okay, I have a question for you, Matt, since you're on. I know
Yeah,
you're
sure.
super busy, and if you got to jump off, just let me know. You've been doing short form for a while. You blew up in 2020, became one of the most, like influential chefs on TikTok, YouTube Shorts after that. And then you went into long form. We've talked about vlogging. You've done lots of vlogs. Arguably, you're one of the most influential vloggers in the Seattle area. But now you're getting into live streaming, and I've watched your live streams, obviously, and we have both kind of geeked out on it. You're someone I really respect because you really look to the future and you kind of see what's going to be more significant. Why do you think live streaming is significant or will be significant more so than now? And why are you live streaming even though you're known as this short form creator?
Well, I'm live streaming less. I was live streaming a ton when like back in TikTok days. Like live streaming was way bigger for me back then, but I think now it's starting to catch on the same way short form video was starting to catch on. So now everyone's doing short form video. Like people's moms will do a short form video, but I think live streaming is catching on in that way because it's so simple to do. Like they could just do it vertically on their phone. They go on TikTok, bust up the live. Same with YouTube, bust up the live. And people are just doing it. If you just go to the shorts feed, click a live, and then you start scrolling, you're going to be scrolling through all lives. And
Oh,
it's really
really?
crazy. Yeah, so try this out. Go on your phone, go to the shorts feed and find a live or whatever. You'll find one at some point, unless you want to search it. But then click on that live. Once you're on that live vertically, you start scrolling. You're going to be scrolling through vertical lives. And I've been doing that lately, and I've noticed, I don't know if it's like building an algorithm for me, but every time I scroll through the lives, there's always like a key type of people on the live. Like there's like a little community that are going live on YouTube. Like it's very small right now.
Matt, can you see it?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
found
there
my
you go. Now,
live. I found the
now
live
if you
feed.
start scrolling, you're gonna go through
Yes,
more
cool.
lives.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's
There you
really
go.
interesting.
But I want to go back to mine because that's all I care about right now. That's crazy. Whoa.
Yeah, dude. But
It's
it's weird
wild to
because the community's so small on there right now. On TikTok, it's like huge community of live people. But like I think now it's early. So like get on there now because if like I said, if you scroll through lives on YouTube, like you'll notice like 5 different people that are always doing it. Like they'll just come up for you. Yeah, it's interesting.
That's a good point, Matt. And of course, that's kind of what you did. Not necessarily early on TikTok, but you were early cooking food on TikTok the way you were doing it, bringing in that cinematic feel, that higher production, fun enough. And of course, you did that on YouTube Shorts. And I've always said, I think everyone knows this. I don't have to make the statement for it to like be like known. But when you're early, that first opportunity to not have any competition is so huge because you get ingrained in people's minds. And I don't think Mr. Beast is like that, but I think about beauty. The biggest beauty creator that forever is kind of legendary is Michelle Phan, because she was one of the first ones to take her makeup beauty blog, a blog post, and turn it into a video, and that just changed the game for everybody, and that's why Judy even started. Any other things that what do you like about live streams as a creator, or what are things that other creators should know about live streams, and why should they do it?
What I like is being able just to connect with the community real time. So that's like the beauty of it. You're connecting with the community real time, and you're kind of getting a pulse for like what they want to see. I mean, you'll see the numbers in real time. If you start doing something that people want to see, the numbers are going to hike up and they'll stay steady, or they'll even keep growing. And you'll even see real time the views going down. So it's really interesting to see that. That's what you get, is that real time pulse. So that's what I like about that. And also, you're just growing the community. It's honestly like it's a real life vlog if you think about it. Because like when I go live on YouTube, I'll go live for like 2 hours to 4 hours at a time. I'll just plug it into a power bank and walk around the city, you know? So
Do you feel like you could see yourself doing live streams more prominently, almost to the point where it dominates like the grand scheme of your content creation? Like,
oh fuck no.
no.
No way. No thank you. I don't want to do that. No. I'll just do like maybe once a week or occasionally, just like connect, check in, all that stuff. But there's no way I'm gonna be like an IRL streamer.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
people that do it. I mean, yeah, there's a beauty in it. Look at Charlie. I mean, Penguin Zero. I mean, that guy's amazing. That's what he does every day. He live streams from his desk, and he just talks about whatever. I think that's amazing. And then he just gets clipped and turns into a video that gets millions of views. It's amazing.
Yeah, there is this appeal of live streams that it will set you apart from the people that need the production, maybe or maybe nervous just being themselves, and they use the magic of editing to entertain and be informative, educational, or whatever. Versus you and I could literally just be live for hours, right? Like I've done a 24-hour live stream. I'm comfortable, and inherently, especially with AI, this is why I'm saying live streaming is probably super important for everyone to do. But whether you're in real life, you're doing it for like 7 hours straight, or just like once in a while, because it just shows that you're human and not this AI. How many times, I don't know how you feel about it. Maybe this is my next question for you. I don't always know when something is AI now, because it looks so real, or the behavior of scrolling through, I use YouTube Shorts. It's so quick that if it's real enough and it's entertaining, I don't even question it. What's your thoughts on that? As well as, do you think that live streaming is going to be a great way to counter the volume of AI content, especially on short form?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I am thinking of live streaming more like as in maybe it could just be something where I set the camera down, cook, and then that gets clipped as my long form. And I think that could counteract the AI slop we're getting. But the thing is, I don't even think you could live stream AI. I mean, maybe you can. I think I saw something about streamers that can make themselves look like a e-girl while vlog, like on the live stream. I don't know what it's called. Maybe if you guys know what that's called. But I think the more you watch content, the more you're gonna learn what AI looks like. Like for me in the beginning, like it was also kind of tough for me to differentiate AI content from regular. But the more you watch it, the more you can like I could tell like right away in a second now, like this is AI. And I think that's probably why kids are much better at telling when it's AI, because they're always watching stuff on their tablets and their phones. So I think you just have to watch stuff more, and you can just tell right away from the sound or the look or even the feel. Yeah.
Well, I think I've seen like where they compile a whole bunch of short form, like for example, like fails, okay? Like fails, and they'll mix in a couple of AI in there. So you're watching actual fails, right? Pranks or whatever, and then once in a while they'll splice something in. And so that's what I'm saying. yeah, you're right. Like I know when I hear a certain voice tone.
Someone laced your compilation, Benji.
Yeah, exactly, right. But if they're mixing it in, what's crazy to me is actually older viewers that don't know what AI is, that they've never seen it. I've heard so many stories of like, yeah, my mom called me and said like Obama was arrested and went to jail. And that is a real problem. But also that's just proving that there's enough people out there that can be tricked into it. I told you, like, it's funny. I'm the older guy in this situation. There's some stuff that I don't know it's AI until I go in the comments. And now what I'm saying is I don't even see it as much in the comments if it looks so real. So yeah, it's all interesting. Ultimately, you know what I've always said, Matt. I think that the reason vlogging is becoming more popular, it's an easy way to make longer videos, and naturally live streaming is going to be another version of that. If you're comfortable on camera, you're confident in what you're doing, and you know you have something that's valuable, in your case like cooking.
Yeah, I mean, also I'm noticing as you scroll through these YouTube lives and TikTok lives, you're gonna notice not to take it so seriously. Like, I guess I don't need to cook a full-on dish to go live. I could just do this and talk to the phone for hours, because there's people doing that every day and it's crazy to see it. Yeah, I mean, as far as the like AI deepfake stuff goes, though, I mean, there's a whole conspiracy on that. I could go deep on that with you later on. Like, I've been deep diving in that rabbit hole, and like, if we have it now, they definitely had it 10, 20 years ago, you know?
Oh, that'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, we were just talking about some of the things that were happening on Instagram. I don't know if you heard about the new kind of AI prompt feed, actually, since we're talking about AI, that they're letting you basically prompt the feed and say, hey, I want more of X or Y.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a lot of other things that are going on Instagram too. In fact, Benji told me earlier today.
TV.
You messaged him that they made a TV app. So Instagram Reels made a TV app, right? If you don't mind me reading a little bit from Jay Peters at The Verge, they say the home screen of the Reels-focused app will show personalized horizontal collections of videos to browse through. Click into a thumbnail and you'll see a full portrait video, a caption on one side, and stats and likes and shares on the other. Instagram spokesperson Christine Pai tells The Verge, when you log in, you'll see rows of channels. So kind of like you imagine like on YouTube, right? You get these rows of content, and it'll be about specific interests, themes, trends, etc., and things like that. So I'm curious about what your reaction is to that and why you might have sent that to Benji, because you know, we talk about the TV all the time here, but I have a hard time seeing this work, in my opinion.
I think it just goes back to Instagram trying to be everything. It's kind of funny that they didn't just call it what they used to call it. Do you remember IGTV?
Oh yeah.
Like, it's Instagram on TV now instead of IGTV. It's kind of funny. And it's also kind of going against everything Mosery's been saying, but he's always contradicting himself. Mosery's always posting videos saying like, we're doing this because of this. And this is kind of going against what he's been saying, where people have been asking for long form videos on Instagram. And he keeps saying, we're not that type of platform. We want you to be able to express yourself in this way. And we think it's all about vertical video for us. And now it's kind of going against that, but maybe it's just going to be vertical on the TV. I don't know. I mean, YouTube Shorts exists on the TV too, so maybe they're just trying to compete with that. I think TikTok exists on the TV because on my TV, there's a little TikTok app somewhere. I've never clicked it, but maybe they're just trying to do it so they can get on that radar too. They're probably not going to spend much time on it. I mean, that's just my 2 cents. I don't think they're going to spend much time on it. It's just going to be another thing, you know?
Well, this is why I actually think this dual stream thing on YouTube is interesting, because YouTube has the ability to do horizontal and vertical. So what's interesting is Nouchaly kept telling me to tell you to move to turn your phone horizontally, right? Because he wanted it to look clean or whatever. But what's crazy, oh, thank you, by the way. Maybe I should have asked him. But Matt, now that you're horizontal on your phone, if someone's watching this on proper YouTube, it's filling the whole TV screen.
Yes, exactly.
But when it goes back to like the shorts feed, and in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask you a question, but I'm going to show you on the return what is showing. I know, but that's kind of crazy because it's going to show. Yeah, anyways, we'll show you here in a second. It's like, yeah, here, I'm going to show you this real quick. Okay, just leave it on this. Oh, it's going to show me though, right?
Yeah. It's hard to time it.
No, it's okay. Just leave it on me, but show that window so that he can kind of get a gauge. This in the YouTube live stream studio area, this, as long as you're in the middle, when you're cooking, Matt, you could show the whatever is in the middle in your YouTube Shorts feed as a live stream. This is crazy because you're in two different places, but you're only focused on one thing versus you had to choose before. Judy loves to go live once in a while, and she'll just let us sit. Like, say she doesn't want to do the upload because we do about 3 to 4 uploads a week. She was like, I don't want to edit today, which is rare because she loves to edit. I'm just going to go live. But she had to choose. Am I going to go vertical today or horizontal? Think about it. No platform has the ability to have that option naturally fitting the device, but YouTube does. TikTok, look, the reason I bring it up is when I saw that Instagram thing that you sent to me, Matt, today, it showed all the black bars on the side. Yeah. Nobody wants to see that on their TV, right? I mean, what are your thoughts now looking at it? By the way, if you're going to do this, you have to be kind of in the center.
That's the other issue I'm thinking is like if it's going to have a center stage feature, but because the iPhones have that, but I'm also wondering if I could just connect my DJI Pocket to it and use the face tracking where it just tracks me around.
Yeah.
So
for your face tracking, but then when you do the cooking, it is tricky though. As a creator that live streams, you do need to kind of think about that if you want to take advantage of the fact that you're going to be on the Shorts feed, because if you're off center, then on the Shorts feed, it's not going to show up.
Yeah, that's very true.
Anyways, Matt, I know you're hella busy. Thanks for coming on. You're welcome to stay on. No, this is also is weird because usually I don't get like tongue tied, but just to kind of see somebody coming into the stream and seeing you vertical, like on my phone, I still got it on my Shorts, Steve. This is what I say, and I'm curious your comment to this. It's crazy to me that on YouTube you have the ability to live stream to 2 completely different platforms within the same platform, with only the same effort as before. And you're basically doubling your exposure. Like you said, there's no other platform. So if there was ever a time to live stream, right now is the time. And on YouTube is the place to do it. I agree with you. I think like when you go live on Instagram or TikTok, you might get more people watching. But what happens is people get used to watching live streams on YouTube. Then it's on like Donkey Kong. Because remember, YouTube Shorts wasn't always like popular for people. People didn't know, like if they're going to watch short form, they're going to be on TikTok or on Instagram Reels. Now YouTube Shorts is huge. So what happens to live streaming in, I don't know, how long do you think it'll take? Like 1 to 3 years?
I mean, I think it's already happening. I mean, Twitch was like kind of the beginning of it, right? I think it might be within 6 months, to be honest.
Yeah. Any other questions for Matt?
No, I don't have any. Matt, I don't know if you wanted to stick around, but yeah, thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah. I'll see y'all soon, guys. I'm gonna get back to making 3 videos.
All right, guys. If you want to see some delicious cooking on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, I think it's by no surprise, him and we both love you.
It's gonna be a bad day for this guy.
That's cool. I can't wait to see that. But
right.
yeah, Matt and we love YouTube, and that's how we connected. But live streaming on YouTube, I've never thought that'd be a thing. So, all right, Matt, I'll see you later.
See you later, Matt.
Peace.
Okay, that was cool.
That was very cool, and I think that one of the big things for me is just the theme of the competition across everything here, right? Netflix is competing with YouTube, Instagram is competing with YouTube, YouTube is creating these vertical feeds, and so they're kind of competing with Instagram and with TikTok and things like that. And so it's just crazy to me to see everybody kind of going at it. It's like this is the new era. This is the new era of social media.
Yeah, and it's just wild to me that I'm in 2 places at once on YouTube.
Benji can't stop looking at the feed, by the way.
I normally don't even care about the live stream. I I just, talk to you, Austin, or you, Nouchaly, and I just cover the topics. But to see me on the shorts tab is wild. And what I would say to any creators listening to this and want to know how to take advantage of any platform, but YouTube is similar to this. Whenever a platform has a new feature, you definitely want to use it. Not just because it's something that, people are interested in, but it's more so because the platform will push it.
Yeah.
And so just like what Matt said, if you go into there, one, there's not a lot of people using. That's a second reason to use it, less competition. But the number one thing is YouTube is going to be pushing this. You might get some special attention or love from them, some algorithm kind of like juice or whatever. So that's why for me, and we just did a live stream on YouTube. We didn't do dual stream though, right? Do you think we have it on there? Anyways, when we do, guess what? We'll definitely be using it. So live streaming in real life thing is a thing, but no other platform, including Twitch. Maybe Twitch does have it. I don't know. Like when you go live on Twitch, I don't even know how Twitch works. That's where people go live. But does it show up vertically when you're on Twitch?
I highly doubt it because they don't really have a discovery feature. So if you don't have a discovery feature, you're not going to have a vertical feed most of the time, right? And so therefore, you probably don't have the ability to do the split.
So what you're saying is Twitch is really just for horizontal content.
As far as I know, they're definitely most known for horizontal content. Yes.
And that's what's crazy about YouTube. It's horizontal and vertical. It's proper classic YouTube viewing on all devices, but especially now on the TV. But now where the phone is being used for YouTube viewing, if you're watching shorts, guess what? Your live stream can show up there. So you're basically getting double the effectiveness from the same amount of work. And that's always a good thing, especially if it works.
While we're on the topic of live streams, this is the second week in a row that we have done back-to-back live streams. I mean, by the way, Benji, I just want to give you your props. He's a beast. He, this morning, was, first of all, down not only to film a vlog and then get into a cooking live stream and then get into a Creator Secrets podcast episode, but was also willing to let me try and go with him during his vlog to film another piece of content for our course. So he was going to create 4 layers of content all together in one day. I was like, Benji, there's no way. I'm not even going to force that on you. But he still did all 3. So this is the second week in a row that I think you did that last week too, right?
And I ran 3 miles, worked out in the gym.
Now you're just showing off.
Yeah. No, well, I will say this. My brain is kind of fried.
Fair.
The reason I do this, though, is because I love it. That's why I'm able to do all those things.
Very true.
I only create content or live stream things that I love. And so anyways, yeah. And so live streaming to me, like someone gave me a compliment yesterday. I won't say who it is. But somebody said something that I think some people would take as a negative. And I, of course, took it as a positive, but it just goes to show you there's a lack of this. Somebody said, one of the appeals of my live streams is I'm just a normal guy. I don't come off as this highly produced type of person. And maybe what they're also saying is I just speak very naturally. Well, vlogging for all these years, I mean, that's what you do. You like if you're going to be a daily vlogger, it's hard to kind of put on this fake face and be produced and act all the time. And that's kind of the what is it? That's not only the appeal, that's the benefit of vlogging. You're just vlogging yourself. So you have endless amounts of content. That's what's interesting about in real life or live streaming.
Yeah.
Is kind of even more so.
It's the next level of that.
Yeah. So thank you for the compliment. But that's why I'm excited by live streaming, not because I'm gonna be like in real life like a Kai Senate or
I Show Speed,
Show Speed, all these other guys. But I love that I can take what I love already, my passions, my expertise, and just make it into content that people are watching. So that's why.
And one of the reasons we've been able to do this for the last couple of weeks, by the way, also credit to Nouchaly who does these back-to-back production processes, right? So I get to sit out the one beforehand. There you go. Give yourself props there. the reason we've been able to do it the last couple of weeks is because we've been repurposing your DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I always get a little confused by it, which is just incredible. It's awesome. We've been using Ecamm as kind of the central brains of the thing, trying to experiment with different things. But one of the topics on the show that we've brought up a bunch is the idea of the Extra Muse. And for a long time, right, for those of you who don't know what the Extra Muse is, the Extra Muse is a basically one-for-one, I'm going to call it a copycat of the DJI Osmo, but most people think it's basically by the same company. It's like basically the same thing, different brands in order to get around kind of the incoming DJI ban, which we're going to talk about soon. I think that happens on December 23rd, by the way, so like a week from today. So we've been saying, we talked a lot about it on the show. We talked about why it's good, it's cheaper, why it might have some things to grow from. It doesn't have the DJI mic connection. But we've also said a lot that we want to get one so that we can test it out and see. And speaking of Nouchaly the other day got an Extra Muse, and it came in the mail the other day, and he's been playing around with it a little bit today. And so Nouchaly, I'm curious about your first impressions. And Benji, I kind of want you to ask him questions about his use of it and see if we can kind of compare notes between your use of maybe the most used Osmo Pocket 3 in the world and the brand new Extra Muse here that we have. So Nouchaly, tell us your reactions.
Yeah, so like Austin was saying, this is the magical DJI or the Extra Muse DJI clone. And my honest take is I really think DJI made Extra Muse just to get away from the tariffs and everything. And when I was testing it, Austin and I had it side by side with Benji's DJI. And when we turned it on, the only thing that I would say that I noticed, and Austin, maybe you could say something to it.
Yeah.
The color profile, we had everything on auto, exposure, color, everything all auto, right? But the DJI seemed to be a little bit more like, was it like warmer, right?
It was a little warmer.
Warmer tone to it.
It was also zoomed in a little bit more.
Yeah, so there's a different cropping factor. It looked like it. I'm not really sure, but that's what I saw. And obviously the build quality of it is really different. It's made out of the same plastic, but it's not as premium plastic. And then on the screen, when you flip it out, there's not a lip for the DJI. With the DJI, there's like a lip to flip the screen easily.
This is totally different.
What do you mean?
This is different.
See, this is why we need Benji on the show, because he is, I'm telling you, probably used the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 more than anyone in the world, is my guess.
I definitely think I probably am up there top 10, have used this. And I'm just, okay, so this has become an extension of my body now.
Yeah.
The DJI Osmo Pocket 3. And I can tell you for a fact, this is a different build. It's a slightly, okay, where I notice the most is when I flip this screen. I mean, I like get like a high feeling because I'm about to start. Okay, see that? If it was my Osmo, I wish I had it. It would flip up, but it's not flipping up.
So
see how it's like stuck right at an angle? I'm telling you, this is not the same thing. We thought it was the same thing. This is what I believe about it. It could be the same factory making these, but they changed the engineering enough so it's a different product to potentially get away with the tariffs, or the factory that builds these, right, for DJI were like, dude, we're about to lose one of our biggest customers indirectly through DJI. Let's just take this thing and make our own thing, because this is not the exact same product. It feels different. And you know where else I feel it? Right here. This tripod has a different, actually, no offense, Nouchaly, but it feels cheap. The legs feel
cheaper,
it's literally a cheaper product. And that was the biggest question. Like, how are they selling this for hundreds of dollars less, even though it's different? I bet you if I play around with it, it looks exact same to me. But even like this is rubber over here. I think that the differences are partially cost, but also because think about like somebody in the US that like pays attention to this stuff to like charge the tariff. They're like, this is like just rebranded. I thought it was going to be the exact same thing. It is not the exact same thing. And it's surprising because the people that are doing videos on this, they probably don't use the DJI Osmo, so they don't understand. Like, there's even like a little bit of a weight difference. But also,
there's a
to be
weight
fair,
difference.
you do have the shorter tripod. I have the extended battery one, right? It's okay. Actually, maybe, yeah, bring it over here. Okay. Now, regardless of this, I think one of the things that's interesting is there's never been a camera company. By the way, see, like even this, I know based off of doing this,
How much resistance there is. Oh man, that's
I
amazing.
know the spin, like how it spins. It's a little bit different. But
He knows the thread count of the tripod.
yeah, well, I know like how many times it should spin.
Yeah, how many revolutions.
But by the way, if you're watching this, give us a like, okay? Because I've never looked at my thing, and I was the second like on my own live stream, so I appreciate some likes on here. But if you're joining us, the DJI Osmo is the greatest vlogging camera ever made. And if it's going to be banned officially on the 23rd of December, does that affect the firmware and stuff? Like, will it work less for me?
I'm not 100% sure about that. My guess is that there's going to be some level of negotiation around it, but I wouldn't trust on getting firmware updates.
But it'll still work, hopefully.
Oh, yeah,
and
I'm
the
sure.
reason we wanted to check this out is because I wanted to see, is this a good replacement at a lower cost? Now, I think generally speaking, if this is lower in cost and this does the same thing, like it just needs a film. It just needs a film, okay? Then it's worth it for that person. But I can even tell you by the text font. The text font is different.
Is it really?
Oh,
didn't
I
compare
can
it side by
tell.
side.
Like even when I turn this on, all the text font is totally different. Now, is that like getting around the tariffs, or is this a cheap version? I mean, knockoffs are a thing, okay? Not just in China, just anywhere, okay? This is a total knockoff that works good enough, but it is not the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. This is a totally different product and interesting. So if you're a vlogger, the DJI Osmo, if it's going to get banned, you need to go buy that thing right now. I'm telling you, you need to go buy it. And I'm surprised that prices haven't jacked up because of the demand, because it was like not available for a while, and now it's back. You can get it, maybe not at Costco, but you can get it online. I'm actually thinking I need to buy a backup because I want to keep it as long as possible, or I might smuggle it in to the United States. Okay, hey, thanks Nouchaly for letting me play with this. It's crazy. The zoom on this is pretty good. This vMix.
Real-time follow-up from Doc. He says that no, FCC said they would not block own products and new products. So that gives you a little bit of solace, Benji, that you. That's a good question, Doc. I don't know if you've got that in you as well, but definitely can still use it. Nouchaly, any final thoughts about the extra Muse?
Yeah, I mean, it was like $100. It was like on Amazon. It was like $200 cheaper at the time. So I just wanted to get it just cause. And then I did have wireless lapel mics already, so that was the only gripe that people were complaining about. That to have a mic, you need to do the USB accessory. The thing with the DJIs, they can wirelessly connect without a transmitter because it's already built in. Yeah, so that's the only caveat. But honestly, the build and at least the quality, the most important that Benji was saying, the quality of the video, it looks honestly like identical.
Yeah, there's a lot of things too that are a lot of similarities that people have pointed out. The settings look very similar, just slight tweaks here and there. Obviously, the build's very similar. We will continue to follow up on this, but another piece of the DJI Osmo Pocket story is the DJI Osmo Pocket 4, which apparently has been rumblings for a while. You actually informed me about this, Benji. But I've got a couple of pieces of information that's just more solid things about the rumor mills got going for this. And then a couple of pieces of news about it as well, because there's obviously questions if there's going to be a DJI ban. The first one is from Sean Hollister at The Verge, who says that the DJI Osmo Pocket 4 has cleared the FCC, but there's a question about whether we'll get it before the ban. And then there's this one specific guy named @Quadro News on X, who's like kind of the foremost leaker for this DJI product, it seems like. I don't know how much we can trust him, so just take it all with a grain of salt. But he has this Pocket 4 prototype image from August 31st, way back in the summer. And it showed that it had a front display, which is kind of interesting. It seems like kind of like mostly things like audio levels and things like that, just minor things. We don't necessarily know for sure. But then on December 9th, more recently, he also had another leak which showed a guy holding it kind of side by side with the Pocket 3. And it's camera housing is actually much bigger. And so some people are theorizing that we might have a dual camera on the top of the DJI Osmo Pocket 4, which would be kind of interesting. The final bit of news, which is the interesting thing here, is that they seemed to be aiming for a late 2025 launch. I'm sure before the holidays would have been great for them, obviously before the ban. But it's seeming more and more like it will be launched in early 2026, which is a problem because on December 23rd, as we've been saying, is the day that DJI will automatically be banned from the United States unless Trump steps in some way and tries to, broker a deal of some kind. So Sean Hollister at The Verge says, you'll still be able to fly your existing DJI drones and film with existing Osmo cameras, but DJI will be barred from importing any new products into the U.S. and the FCC can retroactively ban imports of old DJI products too after a waiting period, not just drones, anything with a wireless radio. Any thoughts about the Pocket 4? I mean, obviously the big looming thing is the ban, but...
So when I think about the 4, I actually think about my last vlogging camera, the Canon G7X. Vlogging is meant to be so low key and very almost amateurish,
Inconspicuous
right?
type of
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
And it's supposed to be a casual type of content that you don't require the high-end functions of a DSLR or professional production. So we had the Canon G7X Mark II. I mean, we just stopped using it. Well, we still are using the last one that we have for a decade. So even when they came out with the Mark III, it was actually worse for what we did. We could see the difference with like the wide angle and some other things, and including sound, that we stuck with the G7X Mark II. The reason I bring that up is when I say the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is the perfect vlogging camera, I mean, it's literally the perfect vlogging camera, and there's only one complaint I have. And it's not even a complaint that's even really that important for what I do, but it doesn't have a telephoto lens. So the Canon, if you guys don't know, give me that Sony. I wonder if it turns on. Give me that Sony up there. Does it turn on? That'd be crazy if it turns on. It does? Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys. So telephoto, zoom in on me, Nouchaly. Okay, so, oh, it died. Okay. Oh no, there you go. It's just slow. Okay, so the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 has a zoom, but it's what's called a digital zoom, so it's not actually zooming. All it's doing is cropping in that part. I use that sometimes because the way I edit, or my editor edits, he likes to know like what I'm trying to focus on. Now, if I tell him verbally, hey, crop in on this, or I know later when I'm editing to crop in, that's fine. But sometimes it's just easier to do the zoom, but it's not a real zoom. I call it a fake zoom, only works because you're doing 4K. Telephoto is this. So you can kind of see right here. That is a real zoom.
So when the lens actually comes out and you can move the glass back and forth and it physically zooms in, that's what you're talking about.
Exactly. And why I bring that up for the Osmo 4, Pocket 4, is when I saw the leaked photos, I thought maybe there might be a telephoto lens, but that would be hard. This gets super nerdy because the gimbal, there would be a lot more weight, and part of the reason that works. So my thought is this. You don't need the Pocket 4. No matter what they put on there, there's almost nothing that they could add that for me would justify a higher cost or anything. I just can't imagine, because right now I can do everything with the Osmo Pocket 3. And let me just tell you all the things I do. I do family vlogs with my wife, travel vlogs included, okay? I do cooking vlogs where I use it for cooking vlogs. Now I do cooking live streams with it. And I bought, I have 2 of them, and Nouchaly has his janky fake one, right?
Hey.
And so I use it for all those different things, and it's solid. It is solid.
Well, don't forget too, you're also doing shopping vlogs as well, which is different than cooking vlogs because you have to have it kind of discreet, ready to go, easy to use.
So many different things, and it's good for all of those. I don't even grab the G7X, the nicer one, with a telephoto, even though I do prefer having that once in a while. That's when I do want the telephoto, like the G7X. So there's no need. So if you're going to pay more money for the Pocket 4, which sometimes you pay the same price as the old one, but the old one is cheaper. Buy like 3 of those. I'm telling you, buy the Pocket 3. If it doesn't get banned or get extended or whatever, buy multiple of that. That's all you freaking need, because I'm not going to go through everything, but just some quick benefits of the Osmo Pocket 3. The microphone. The microphone is so convenient. It's so good. It's so solid. You used to need like a whole receiver, put it on the hot shoe, or have an attachment, all this equipment. No, you just need the microphone and it goes right in. You can do 2 microphones. By the way, I've done interviews with the Osmo too. So it's like a whole setup in one small form package or whatever. It's just awesome. And it's got its own built-in tripod. A built-in tripod. That was one of the big things. Like, you don't, as a vlogger, you don't always want to have your tripod. And even the small one, like, where are you going to put it? The thing, it's all built in. And then the last thing I'll say, I've dropped it. I have had it in a fanny pack without the protector for 2 years. Not just like once or twice, or when I was just like in a rush. Literally every single day, it sits in my. I need to have that thing with me. It sits in this fanny pack, jostling around with the microphones, sometimes with an extra battery, sometimes with my phone, and it's been solid. And even when the gimbal actually broke, and it was like rammed in and it wasn't turning right, I just like kind of like force it out. And, you know, it's kind of like equivalent of like if somebody gets like a dislocated shoulder.
You pop it back in.
I popped it back out because it was popped in too much. And it worked. That was a year ago, by the way. It's the most amazing vlogging camera.
Let me give you a quick, I think I agree with you at a base level, but let me give you a theory about why you might want to upgrade, which is that, assuming that you can, which is that maybe it's a bigger housing because the second lens is there to give you a zoom, right? You think about not as a physical zoom lens, but think about why, like, for example, an iPhone has 3 different cameras, a wide angle, a regular, and then a zoom lens as well. So you could get that zoom lens without having the physical kind of
That
optical
would
zoom.
make sense. But you know what else is perfect about the Osmo? The weight.
Yeah.
The weight and the size. And I saw those leaked photos.
It's pretty bulky.
It's bulkier. And if, guess what? By the way, telephoto is code word for more glass.
That's true.
Glass is heavy. So the actual lens of the
More
camera.
stuff to break too.
Okay. Oh yeah.
That's a
more
great
stuff
point.
to break. It does more moving ports. So I'm gonna take a look at it. You know, it's like I'm not like the most, you know, world-renowned expert on cameras for vlogging, but I would argue, I mean, I want to know if someone's watching this and they know someone else with a channel where they like document their life and they vlog every single day with it. I mean, I literally vlog with it every single day. I know what it feels like. I know that one is fake. That
If I was
Nouchaly
gonna say,
has.
if I blindfolded you, could you tell by just the
Oh
feel?
my, yes.
We should do that next week, by
Yeah.
the way. We're going to do a blind test.
Anyways, even today when we're live streaming, this is something that would be hard for me for anything, but I could like control the gimbal
Yeah.
across the counter
Blind, basically.
Yeah.
and knew like where to angle it. And I knew it without even seeing the monitor.
Yeah.
I just knew from like watching the
angle.
angle. Oh my God. Anyways, why am I saying all that? I would only know that, and I would say it's helped me become more successful as a vlogger because it is such a good product. And that's why, yes, there might be things that are appealing. I'm probably going to end up buying the 4, but I wouldn't be surprised if, generally speaking, I still think the 3 is plenty for what most people are doing when it comes to vlogging. And that's the difference. See, the perfect vlog camera isn't the best camera. It's the one that is just the easiest, most convenient, and reliable to use day to day for most people. And that's why the latest and greatest usually is actually too complex, too big, too bulky, and costs too much. And so if the Osmo Pocket 3 gets cheaper, I mean, I'm going to buy one.
You wouldn't use a katana to butter your bread. We got to get going here really soon, but I really, really would like to bring up one final thing, which is something I've been asking Nouchaly to keep a secret from you, Benji, for a couple of hours here, which is that one of the reasons we're talking about the XTRA Muse, and one of the reasons is he bought the thing, is because Nouchaly is thinking about starting a vlog channel. And so, I'm just curious, Nouchaly, tell Benji about what your thoughts are, what your vision is for your channel, because this is a big deal for us. We don't have a ton of time to talk about it, but I just want to hear what you have to say, Benji, your reactions, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, so quickly, Austin and I spoke about today. The reason I got that extra Muse because I want to start a vlogging channel, basically what my whole job is. So I'm a broadcast producer, not only for Benji, but a freelancer in the Seattle area, sports broadcasters, A through Z. So I just wanted to document that and then also just be as a resource to teach people, like people when I was 16, 15 years old, how to get started in this industry. Just give them some tips and tricks that I wish I had.
Well, my first comment is about time. I've been telling Nouchaly to do it. The reason I've been telling him to start a vlog channel is because I think what YouTube is underutilized for is a resume. Basically, a way to showcase your expertise, your experiences. Like, think about all the cool things you've done with us alone or on your own with other people that you could have documented or at least commented on. And your future employers, clients, or even just like other creators could kind of see it. I mean, when you go to my channel, it's kind of crazy to think I have videos going all the way back, well, in the vlog, 15 years. So you can kind of see you've got not only the experience, or at least experiences, but also the receipts. Does that ring a bell, Austin, right? Because, by the way, I'm giving him a hard time because Austin really makes like the wildest guesses and he's right about them. But if nobody knows about it, then it's just like you're just saying you were right about it versus showing you were right about it. But my big thing is, yeah, I'm glad you bought that. I would have suggested buying the DJI though. Now that I felt it, it doesn't matter because the one downside is it's funny. You're producer, the audio, and you do have to have the onboard. And what you're gonna find is when you put that thing in your pocket one day and it's all like sticking out or whatever. It's
well, we'll see that in a future episode of the Creator Secrets
back
podcast.
With like a 6-month update and be like, I don't like it.
We'll do regular updates because I know that the people are interested. I genuinely believe that. Nouchaly told me about his 3 T's, which is part of the Vlogging Academy framework, right? We haven't gotten a chance to thank the Vlogging Academy students today, but, Benji, I know that you're going to have a lot to say about Nouchaly's channel. Nouchaly, I'm very excited for you. I had the exact same reaction as you did, Benji. I'd love to talk about it more, but we're out of time today. So our thanks to the students of Vlogging Academy who make this show possible. If you want to learn more about the new way to vlog, if you want to take advantage of everything we've talked about the biggest opportunity in the history of YouTube, we think the easiest way is Benji's new vlogging method. And you can learn all about it at vloggingacademy.com. The link is in the description. And Benji gives his 1-hour-long free masterclass on there as well if you're interested in checking out to learn more details about what that new vlogging method is. But we think that you're going to love it. And so please visit vloggingacademy.com to learn more, and we will see you next week.